every day. You'll be put into different groups. Traditional block 2. These are the classes that you would go to during this block. So here's the thing, if you don't like any of our electives that you would be in all year that we're talking about, you might be in 2 block classes a day, okay? So that's what we're talking about here. So I have to offer you 2 different block classes to be in. So here, you would be in makerspace, public speaking, STEM, and it's lifetime fitness, and that one would be a 2-day, you would have that 2 days in a 5-day rotation. Okay? All right. It is kind of like a PE class, but just a little bit different. Coach Hacker teaches that.
What's public speaking?
What does it sound like?
Speaking for people?
Yep. Miss Ross teaches that class. All right, our next elective is choir. Mrs. Thompson teaches this class. It is for 1 semester. It is the fall semester. This class is for students who enjoy singing or would like to give it a try. For the second semester in the spring, these students are enrolled in musical theater. So in the fall, you're in choir, where you're learning how to read music, you're learning singing technique. They do a concert, 1 or 2 concerts, and they usually go to an activity called Circle the State with Song, where you go and you learn from other choir directors, and then you do one big production with kids from this whole area of the state. This class is good for students who think they might be interested in doing choir in middle school or high school. This is an introduction to middle school and high school choir. The second semester of that class is musical theater. This is an introduction to drama. If you have ever seen our musicals that the high school does, do y'all remember? So they did Grease this year. They've done Little Mermaid before. They've done Wizard of Oz. You guys would have been really little during Wizard of Oz. They did Footloose. Okay? This class is an introduction to those types of things. And at the end of the semester, you do a little production. Later in May, right before school's out, you guys will have the opportunity to see our 6th grade's production of a play called Summer Camp. And that they have been working towards this all semester. They do their own props, they practice, perform, all of those types of things. The next elective that we're going to talk about is leadership. This class, if you've ever heard of student council in middle school or high school, this class is kind of like that. Y'all remember like our food drive and our pet drive that we did? Leadership class plans all of that. They also plan ways to give back to our school. They may come down and help us in the office for a day or help teachers. They may also go out and do community service in the community. They help a lot with the house system. And then they also study different types of leaders and leadership qualities that you might have. Mrs. Teal teaches this class. This class is by application only. In your Google Classroom, you will see something called the Leadership Questionnaire. It's a Google form. If you choose leadership as a number 1 choice or your number 2 choice, you need to also fill out this questionnaire, okay? Just because you choose a class number 1 or number 2 does not mean that you're going to get it, because it might not work in your schedule, or in some of these classes like choir or musical theater or leadership. If you have trouble passing all of your classes, then you might not get to be in one of those because these classes are, what's the word I'm looking for? Privileges, okay? We want great kids that we don't have to worry about who can make their grades in there. If you have discipline referrals, you're probably not going to get in leadership because we want our school leaders to be great role models. Okay, so if you choose leadership as 1 or 2, you'll also need to fill out this leadership form. Our next elective, oh whoops, I'm going the wrong way, is band. Miss Band was just talking to you about band. We are doing band differently next year. Band will be divided up into 2 different hours depending on the instrument that you play. So if you are a brass, hold up your hand, where are my brass instruments? You'll be in 1 hour. Where are my woodwinds? You'll be in a different hour. Percussion will be in one of those, I'm not sure. Okay, so when you select band as your first or second choice, if you are already in 5th grade band and you know what instrument you play, there's a place for you on the Google form for you to tell me what instrument you play so I know if I need to put you in 5th or 6th hour. You do not have to have had 5th grade bands to do 6th grade. My daughter didn't join band until she was in 6th grade, and she did it for 3 years. She doesn't do it now that she's in high school though. Native American cultures, this is a new class that we're offering 6th grade next year. Mrs. McClelland will teach this class, particularly if you have gone and done language bowl with her or challenge bowl, thank you. This is a great class for you. She's going to do lots of activities, lots of
our library winners of the day
and those
are
types of things.
4th grade, Kendall Cantrell, 5th grade, Ember Shepherd, and 6th grade, Iris Lenneman. Come on down to the library.
All right, so what I need you to do is to rank your choices. And this is how you're going to do it. Number 1 is your first choice. I think we're down to 7. This still says 8, but I changed the form a while ago. 7 will be the class that you really don't want. All right? In your Google Classroom, you have this form. Okay? Oh, that's the wrong one. It still says 21, 22. I need to change that. Or 22, 20. It should be 23, 24, shouldn't it? Yeah. Too many crickets. All right. You're going to put your email in there. You're going to put your first and last name. Then you're going to get down to the part of the form where you make your choices, and it looks a little confusing. So let's talk about this. All right, mine is in edit form. I saw somebody had theirs pulled up. You can scroll down. All right. So when you get in, scroll all the way down to the bottom. All right. So it lists athletics first. If athletics is what you want in the most of anything, you're going to click the number 1. If athletics, you are not an athlete in the least, you wouldn't want to play basketball if someone was twisting your toe. You're going to mark it a 7. Okay? The next one that's on the list is, so the best way to do this is to go through there. Find your number 1 choice. Mark it number 1. Remember, you're going to get 2. So the 2 classes that you want need to be number 1 and number 2. And you're going to rank them all the way down to, I wouldn't want to take this class if someone was twisting my toe. Okay? That leads me number 7. You should only have one class at each number. You can only have one number 1. You can only have one number 7. Okay? You can only have one number 1. You can only have one number 7.